What's up, YouTube? So, wanted to come on and do a shootout. This is going to be the $10 to $20, just the Monometal MagicYoyo shootout. I think I've got them all. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing any, but I think I might have all the Monometal MagicYoyos. I did collect them, and I tried to get them if I had Amazon money or, you know, $10 here, $10 there. I haven't bought a MagicYoyo in a long time. Since before Christmas, but I still think I've got all the Monometals. Most of them anyway. I may be missing one or two, or they may have reissued some that addressed my complaints. But anyway, without further ado, I got a ton to go through, so let's shoot them out here. Gonna start with some of the older ones that I don't like as much, and move up to the ones that I like the most. So, starting off, this is probably the one I like the least. This is the MagicYoyo K8. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Tiger or something. It came with these terrible like plastic finger spin caps in them, and they made the yo-yo vibe terribly. Stabbed them and took them out with a knife, and it doesn't vibe as terribly anymore. But as you can see, it's actually really super smooth now. But it Hi, Damien. But it's, I don't know, just not, it's really big. It's not a terrible yo-yo. It's not bad. I just don't like it as much. It spins okay, but it's kind of expensive. This is more of an expensive one, at least was when I bought it. It was about $8, and the gap is pretty thin. So, and as you can see, even at least in mine, the pads stick out just a hair. It was a little bit responsive. I've got a pretty thin string on it now, and it's pretty. I've worn the pads in a little bit more, so it's not as responsive. But out of the box, it came kind of responsive, and just because the gap was so narrow. I mean, I don't know if there's others that were better, or you know. QC was just bad on, wasn't great on mine. Mine also kind of came a little bit scuffed around the edges. I don't know if it was just sitting in the factory and that's what happened. I've had other Chinese yo-yos come like that, but this is the only one. This is the only MagicYoyo I've had come like that. So I don't know. This one probably my least favorite of all of them. But that's not to say that it's terrible. It's just it's not for me, and it's $17. So you know, it wasn't my favorite one. Moving on. This one was actually, I believe, my first MagicYoyo. This is the MagicYoyo N11. Now, I don't hate this yo-yo. I actually think this yo-yo is perfectly fine. And it's really smooth, and it comes in black. It came in black and gold. I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so any yo-yo that comes in black and gold is okay with me. Don't like this goofy little graphic here. And it's got this kind of weird step up, and the gap on this one is actually huge. Now, I've got a really thick string on it now, so that's not a problem. But when I first got it, I only had like some kitty normal, so it was a little slippy on the pads, just because the gap was so big, but the yo-yo is real small. So it was a little weird. I didn't know much better, but it's comfortable to hold. It's kind of it's like a small organic shape. Again, the N11. It's kind of a small organic shape. As you can see, it's pretty small compared to the K8. But not great, not terrible. I don't remember how much these are. I think they're like $10 or $15. I think I got this for $10. At some point, they like go on sale every now and then, or the prices were all over the place. I think I got this for $10. And you know, so for $10, not terrible. This actually sat in my desk at work for a little while. But not my favorite one. MagicYoyo is sort of a budget metal brand, like a budget brand, so you know you can kind of really get some decent stuff for not very much money. But you know, some are better than others. Like I wouldn't play this over like a Yo-Yo Factory or anything else like that. But it is much cheaper, so you know there's that. Moving on up to yo-yos that I'm going from like least favorite to most favorite. So the next one Oh, the other thing about this one is it's kind of a, just like this, the MagicYoyo finish is pretty sticky on this one too, and that's the other kind of thing I don't really like, is it's a very shiny, like you could grind, but it's almost like trying to grind with like a polycarbonate plastic. And I know that, like, you know, grinds aren't a thing, but I think I liked it. I like to grind, so you can't really do it with this. It's kind of a sticky polycarbonate. It doesn't grind all that well, or kind of a sticky shiny plastic. It just, or shiny metal. It just doesn't grind very well. So wasn't the hugest fan of that. Now they may have come out with other colors. I just haven't seen them that aren't that shiny color, but it's just not my not my preferred. Moving on, this is the T5 Overlord. This one's pretty basic, and I think this one was less than $10. This one was like $8 or $9. For $8 or $9, that's actually a really good price for this. It's a little bit undersized, as you can see next to this one. A little bit undersized, probably about the same size as far as undersized is concerned. Undersized yo-yos aren't my favorite, which is probably why it's in the category of yo-yos that I don't like as much. But other than it being undersized, there's really nothing wrong with it. The finish is a little bit better than the N11. It's a little bit more of a brushed metal as opposed to like super shiny polished. It's a little more brushed, but it's still kind of like not the best finish. It's, you know, but for the $8 or $9, I can't imagine that they'd, you know, go through the trouble of blasting it and what have you. So for $8 or $9, it's not terrible. A little bit small. It takes a little getting used to, but, you know, for something to stick in your bag at work, or in your desk, or in your pocket, or wherever, just to like leave somewhere, to have a yo-yo, you know, as a backup in your car, or something like that, just to have one, you know, for $8 or $9, you know, this is solid for that, because it's small, it's, you know, not too light, spins a long time, spins good, you know, nothing to write home about, but you know, not a bad thing to throw in the glove compartment and forget about. Moving on, these are yo-yos that I like a little bit more. This is the N9 Floating Cloud. It comes with Z-stacks. I had to dig these out and put them on. I think they're cool. But it's very seemingly Caribou Lodge inspired. I think a lot of people do have a problem with this yo because it is kind of CLYW inspired a little bit. But the Z-stacks are cool. This is, again, I think $11 or $12. And it comes in some cool splashes. It's silver and black, and I think it also comes in black and silver. And I think there may be some solid colors too. But for me, it's really, you know, the cool part about this is for the $8 or $12. Like, it's a really smooth yo-yo. It's really heavy with these in, but it performs pretty well without them. You can pop them out. I've popped mine out a couple times, but anyway, you can you know, do some fun like Z-stack stuff, because these Z-stacks are really big. And they're pretty smooth. So no real complaints about this. It's a little small. Z-stacks are a little bit loud, but it's kind of a neat thing to play with. Also, you know, for the $10 or $12, kind of a fun thing to throw in your desk and leave there. The hub stacks work pretty well, the little hub stack rings. And if you pop them out, it actually does perform pretty well. I would say it performs a little bit better than this one. It's a little bigger. As you can see, it's a little bigger, a little bit wider, but still, you know, kind of on the small size, at least for today's standards. It does say 2012 on it, so, you know, for 2012, maybe this was more of a full size yo-yo. But you know, definitely something that's held up pretty decently over the last you know, several years, and kind of a cool, you know, a cool budget metal to just have and throw around and, you know, play with nifty things, because you don't see hub stacks so much anymore. I don't know why, but you just don't see them so much anymore. So definitely a fun fun little little yo-yo to have, and for the 10 or 12 bucks, like I said, nothing to write home about. It's not like crazy. The finish is okay, kind of the same as the T5 Overlord, that like brushed a little bit, but it's not like awesome to grind with. So it is what it is. 12 bucks and you get something to play with. Moving on to like kind of the yo-yos where I feel like MagicYoyo took it and stepped way up. Like these were fine. These four were fine for like your budgety stuff. Although this one was like 17. At least when I got it, it was like 17, and it's not. It's the worst of all four of these. But the $10 or $13 or whatever, those were fine. I think they performed just fine. They perform kind of like a metal, because they are metal. Finishes aren't that great, and I'd say that they're probably, to me, a little bit less fun than like the $20-ish plastics that are in that range. But that's look, we're talking about yo-yos that came out like in the last year or so, as opposed to these. A lot of these have been out for a while. So moving on. This is MagicYoyo's collaboration with iYoyo. This is the MagicYoyo and iYoyo purple line. The purple line kind of has probably the worst finish out of all of them. It's sticky and it just I don't like it. The finish. That's probably why I don't use this yo-yo as much. But the performance is great. It performs awesome. It's got a really cool like thumb grind lip here. The cup here is nice for finger spins, although it's a little sticky, but it's nice like finger spin cup. The design on this is great. It's a great design. I've seen that there are newer blasted ones. They cost a little bit more. I think maybe even a lot more. I don't know what they cost off the top of my head, but they're not. I'd say the downfall of this one really is the finish. It kind of drives me nuts. Is that it's kind of sticky and just doesn't grind at all. No, there's just no, stuck to my hand both times. It just doesn't, there's no finger grinding. However, that being said, it plays great as long as you keep it on the string. And finish sticks. But other than the sticky finish, it plays great. The newer blasted ones, I'm sure, are much better, and I'm glad they've corrected that. But the finish on this one, I don't like. But everything else about it's pretty great. So MagicYoyo iYoyo purple line. Make sure you get a blasted one if you get one, because this one, the finish is terrible. Moving on. The only plastic in here, the Skyva. Skyva's 20 bucks. I'm not going to throw the Skyva because it's, you've already, me and everybody else has reviewed and thrown and talked about this. It's amazing for finger spins. It just is. It's what you do with it. I'm not going to try to do it on camera because I'll miss a bunch, and I'm not just going to flail around with finger spins. But this is the only yo-yo I can do them on. It's one of the only yo-yos I can do them on consistently enough where it doesn't take me 35 tries, although it still takes me like 10. And it's great for that. Otherwise, still super like stable and super long spinning and super smooth plastic. Certainly one of the best plastics in the $20 range. Definitely something I enjoy. I've played some of the newer ones. They seem to play about the same to me as this one does, but I've heard things like some of the newer runs aren't as good. This is one of the first runs, the like gray one, but every one I've played has been pretty consistent, which is nice. Gotta give props to MagicYoyo for being such a budget brand. They seem to be relatively consistent, as far as I can tell. The Skyva, definitely cool. I would say, at least from the non-blasted one, it's a step up from the purple line. Costs more, but I think this was 17. This is 20. Moving on. Probably the best beater that MagicYoyo's had out for the longest time, and still one of their best ones. Probably the best finished yo-yo in MagicYoyo's lineup, at least their lineup of Monometals. This is the N12 Shark's Honor. This is the one that anybody who says, "Oh, which one should I get?" I'm like, get the Shark's Honor because it's like $10. Like the solid colors are like $10. The splashes are okay. They look okay. They're not great looking, so there's really no reason to spend more money on a splash that just looks okay, in my opinion. But you know, your mileage may vary. But the finish on this one is awesome. It's a nice matte finish. This is the best finished MagicYoyo, like I said. It looks good. It plays really good. It's a little bit on the heavy side, a little bit on the boring side, but as far as a beater is concerned, this is the beater. Throw it over concrete, throw it, take it to the park, take it on vacation, throw it in your bag, beat it up, and if you break it, buy another one because it was $10. Mine's got a ding here and some little scrapes and dings that aren't going to show up on camera because it's getting dark, but plays pretty smooth still, like the day I got it. They all have a little bit of, like, you can feel the vibe on, like, if you're looking for it, but they're not like it's a problem. And like I've said before, vibe doesn't bother me so much. It's got a little bit. Actually, it's feeling pretty smooth. So maybe the last time I took it apart, I tuned it. But for what it is, like I said, only complaint would be that it's a little bit heavy, a little bit boring of a shape. But for the $10 or $12, best beater you could get, in my opinion. Finish is great on this. Best finish, better finish than a lot of $40, $50 yo-yos. So N12 is definitely super diamond in the not so rough. I mean, a lot of these are pretty decent, but diamond in the rough for sure. N12 Shark's Honor. Moving on, two of these are newer. These ones, and they although the shape is different, they feel super duper similar to me, and that's just to say this is the M002 April, and this is the MagicYoyo. I think this is the V4 or V3 or something, but it's the MagicYoyo one. It's the unresponsive one. They are similar in size and weight. The shape, this one's more rounded, this one's more angular, but they're both H-type shapes with little grooves kind of in the right here. This one kind of puffs out, this one kind of dents in. Their cup sizes, while they look different, are similar. This one has like a little dimple. This is just sort of concaved. The finishes are pretty similar. It's not as matted as this one, as the N12, but they're not like sticky. So better finishes. This one, if you were to buy it on Amazon, would cost like $30, and that's not a bad price for it. It certainly plays like a $30 yo-yo. But if you order it from China, I think you can get it for $16 or $17. This one's about between $13 and $18, I think, depending on the color. And the MagicYoyo one is between $13 and $18, depending on the color that you get it in. And I'd say both of these play up to like current standards and are sort of in the realm of what's currently popular in at least like the $30 to $50 range of yo-yo releases. So these ones are definitely good as well. Like I said, this one can cost you a little more depending on the color you want to get it in. This splash color, which I think looks the best, the like green and silver and gold one, would cost you $30 on Amazon, but if you get it from China, you'll get it cheaper. But that's it. It depends. It depends on if you can find it, if it's in stock. So M002 April, and this one is the I think it's the V3 or the V4. This is the MagicYoyo one that the MagicYoyo did. But anyway, guys, that's my that's my kind of a shootout between them. I definitely kind of think that that these three stand tall above the rest of them. These are really the diamonds. Chinese yo-yos are kind of they're like budget brands. I think MagicYoyo is really the only one that's consistent. I've tried a bunch of other ones, Bee-Boo, Granny Cool, what's the other one, Aldi. They're all really, to me, seeming very inconsistent. Some of the yo-yos are just not good at all. They kind of, Aldi particularly costs a little more, and I feel like it's a bigger roll of dice. All the MagicYoyo stuff is pretty decent, and you're not gonna buy it and be like, oh man, I just got ripped off for $10 because this is garbage. Anything you get, I think, is pretty solid. These three certainly stand out above the rest. I would say they pretty much compare to anything in a $30 to $40 price range. They're not as great as some of the nicer stuff. They're not and I don't have a MagicYoyo bimetal. They're not as great as some of the other stuff. I feel like there's a lot of better designs out there, but as far as performance goes, certainly solid. Certainly good things to buy, stick in your desk at work, take with you. Don't worry about dinging them up or whatever, because they're going out and playing yo-yos. They're not collecting and not touching or taking outside yo-yos. So that's my little shootout of the MagicYoyo stuff. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to say thank you to Dylan Kowalski for shooting me out in his last video last night that he put up. Really appreciate that. Enjoyed his review of the yo-yo that I sent him. I sent it to him so that he could cut it in half, because I think that one's a bum one, but I've got another one that kind of vibes pretty hard too. It's not responsive like that one was, but I've said before on this channel, the Daydream's not my favorite, so if he wants to slice it in half with a hot knife, I think that'd be fun to watch too. So anyway, like and subscribe to my channel, guys, and if you're not subscribed to Dylan's channel, like and subscribe his channel. I'm gonna kind of shout out a bunch of guys probably on Tuesday, because I've been getting a lot of love from lots of YouTubers, and what a cool community. Really appreciate everybody's love and support. But again, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers to you, and I'll see you next time.